in our particular case, we deal on a more regular basis with a situation that's somewhat related to gun violence, and it's the whole opioid crisis that has affected the Kensington community. In our schools, and we have 3 Kensingtons, we're located almost in the heart of that situation. And under the leadership of Dr. Karen Kolsky in the school district, she is leading an initiative where the group of schools that are in that Kensington community that's affected on a daily basis by opioid. And with opioid, you have all the other tangents, you know, gun violence and other situations. And over a year ago, we started meeting with those schools. Resources from across the city are brought together. And then depending on the needs, although opioid is a common factor, but in some schools, the issue takes different aspects. So depending on those needs, then those resources are utilized then to provide support to the schools and to the students. The other thing that has happened, the schools, especially the high schools, we've had conversations with both our staff and our kids. And just to get the perspective from the students, because our students are the one that, you know, they walk to school or they ride to school, and they go through those areas where they actually see on a daily basis what that epidemic is doing, you know, to our community. And just to hear their perspective and their feelings and their suggestions and recommendations as to how we can better deal with these situations. And the students have articulated those concerns. And we share those with both our staff, so that our staff, especially staff that are not from our community, they can also be in a much better position to kind of work with our kids. And then we link that with the support from the network office and from central office, and then through Karen Kolsky again, she has been able to garner all of the agencies from the city to again support the schools and the students to, you know, be able to deal with those issues more effectively.
So this is going to take me back a little bit to the previous question about local control as well, and I think that what Dr. LeBron just described is extremely important, because as a district, we have to think about what structures and systems are in place, and we work very closely with the Philadelphia Police Department. We are a representative group or body on the Philadelphia Road Map to Safer Communities, so we're on the Mayor's Task Force for Gun Violence, and we're doing a lot of things that are a coordinated effort to deal with these particular problems, and we actually have to deal with the outcomes from gun violence as well. I mean, when you have children who are in trauma simply because a relative or parent has been injured or killed by gun violence, we also have to provide services and make sure those services are readily available at the schools. But more importantly and fundamentally, as schools, we also are trying to do our part in teaching our young people different ways to resolve conflict. And so we are using processes like restorative practices, positive behavior intervention, conflict resolution. And we're trying to use those strategies so that our young people are equipped with strategies that we hope that they can use to resolve conflicts, as opposed to just reverting to gun violence in the future. That's number one. Number two, part of what Dr. LeBron described was what I call the promise of local control. And that the promise of local control also provides us with the ability to coordinate assets and services and supports, not just with the district, but also that are available at the city level. And we have used that now in the past to put social workers in schools, and those social workers are funded through the Department of Behavioral Health. We have used it in the past to work with DHS to focus on attendance and improving attendance, where those individuals are also working as a collaborative member with our teams to address issues in areas where children are not attending school. We're working with the health director to make sure that we have set up areas to provide young people with immunizations. And so it's in more broadly than just selecting non-school board members, the local control also allows for us to think about how do we coordinate and align services, assets, resources to respond to many of these issues that are happening in and around our communities. We're working with the city's planning office as we talk about our comprehensive school planning process. And so it's really important to think about how do we integrate the services and not just think about it as the school district of Philadelphia, but instead the school district and city of Philadelphia, and how do we then point those assets and resources to areas like Kensington so that we're all working to solve a larger problem. And it's not just the school district that's trying to solve this by itself or the city trying to solve it by itself, but we're all working together to do that.